Okay, Merry Christmas to all my viewers. So, as a special Christmas present, I'm gonna talk about basically Taiwan. Okay, so some people ask me, what's the big deal about like Taiwan? And why does like China and the US contest it so much? And I'm gonna throw out something that it's well known, but like it's not a provable thing. So Nancy Pelosi and Paul Pelosi, husband and wife team. Nancy Pelosi gets like, classified information, stuff like that in some of her briefings and stuff that she gets. This happens in Congress, right? Paul Pelosi happens to be an extremely good trader. Like he's always on it, if you know what I mean. And like my position on inside trading is, I think as long as it's not like hurting the general public, like I'm actually sympathetic to it. But when you start violating like Sherman antitrust laws and like price fix and weird shit like that, or even like what Enron did, where those guys actually get like full-on financial fraud going and then try to, leave ship the other way. That's where people get in tons of trouble with this stuff. So that aside, and I'm not telling anyone to even inside trade, okay? So we'll shut that part of the brain off, and we're gonna get back into what's going. So Taiwan. So Nancy Pelosi and Paul Pelosi have a huge stake in semiconductor things. So stocks and stuff. So you take say a silicon wafer, right? Like if you played Minecraft, a silicon is it's like a metalloid. It goes in the very center, of the periodic table, basically. Like not in the metals section, but, a little where it does properties of both insulators and conductors. But we're not going to get into scientific jargon at all. We're going to keep this simple, okay? So pretend like you're playing Minecraft. You get ingots, right? So you get ingots of this special material called silicon. So you take silicon, you cut it into small, thin wafers, and then it makes these little discs, and then you etch like actual circuits on them, right? That's what silicon is. Like they call it like San Francisco, Silicon Valley. But the place to cut these wafers the absolute thinnest, the people that do it at a comparative advantage, which means they have almost they have the lowest production cost whatsoever with a comparative advantage on a silicon wafer. They slice that sucker at the thinnest, and then you can make smaller phones, smaller everything with that, smaller tablets. And these guys have the comparative advantage on that. China would love to get the comparative advantage on this, like mainland China. We're talking like the People's Republic of China, not Taiwan. Taiwan is a democratic nation. It's more like a puppet state, but who cares, right? At this point in time. And I'm not sure if I even agree with that, because I think production should be, locally. So China, it's not that they can't get the material. They can get silicon. They can get any of that stuff. But being able to cut it the thinnest is going to be the name of the game. And it's been the name of the game for the last 10 years. So that is why Taiwan is actually contested, and why Nancy Pelosi actually cared about Taiwan. Believe it or not, it was documented that the same time she flew to Taiwan to go meet with the leadership there, she made a pit stop at a company her and her husband have a stake in, and toured one of the facilities. Strange how it all works, but that's why Taiwan seemingly some people actually matter.